walkthrough work. Our coaches are, I mean, I don't even know if they sleep. I mean, they're in there constantly watching film and making sure that we're prepared for what they're doing, what kind of ball screens, where they're setting them, and who's slipping out of them, who's setting them. So we're ready for it.
Last thing I want for you is that Tyson. What have you seen from Tyson in the last little bit here, and thinking back to his first game here a couple of, like last year? How has he changed and become more aggressive?
Man, I mean, he picks his spots so well. Honestly, that's what he does. He gets to his spot, and I mean, it's tough when you're not the biggest guy in the court, but he does it, man. It's unbelievable. He breaks down the defenders, get to his mid-range, get to his step back, or get to the rim, and the way he finishes around the rim is probably better than anyone I've seen or anyone I've played with. So just his development and his confidence and what he's done has been. I mean, he's probably one of the more confident players that I've ever been around.
What did you learn in the first week?
You guys have played 2 really good defensive games in the tournament so far. Tom mentioned to me earlier that it would be scary if you guys were you haven't been as good as you were shooting the ball. How far away or how close do you think you guys are from putting that whole game together, and what will it take?
Shot selection obviously is the first thing you think of, but we've always had good shot selection, you never know. You can't hang your hat. You can't really depend on making shots. So they go in. But defensively, that's something that we can hang our hats on. That's something that's going to travel defensively, rebounding. If we can get some open looks, then that leads to better shots. So we'll just keep shooting, just keep working the ball around and getting some movement so we get those open looks.
Is there a moment that stuck out to you in the first weekend about what makes Izzo so special in this setting and in this environment? Obviously, this is your guys' first run as a team. Is there a moment or two you can kind of look back and it's like, okay, this is why Izzo is Izzo?
I mean, just his preparation. He's not going to I don't think he sleeps. He's watching film constantly. His coaching staff is constantly watching film. They know what the team's doing, what each guy's doing. So it's truly he outworks coaches. That's what he does.
Joe, you mentioned learning experiences. Were there things you needed to learn, like as a team, going through some of the stuff mid-season? Like, what do you feel like you learned the most?
Playing shorthanded at times. That other guys step up. They have bigger roles. They're asked to do more, and going down the road, that helps you. Playing tough opponents, playing back-to-back games. We had a pretty brutal schedule in November. Early December, we were playing game after game, going out west, coming back home. So all that stuff prepares you for a moment like this.
Tyson, Joey, talking about coaches having you here. How do you digest all those little films and walkthroughs without kind of getting cluttered up in your head?
At some point you just got to go out and play. You can't just play solely off of a whatever they got for a scouting report. But I think you just kind of ingrain it in your head. You constantly go through it up until that point, and then the coaches just say, hey, look, we can give you all the answers, but you got to go out and do it. So at some point you got to trust your instincts. But definitely when you go over it that much, there's things you recognize, things you remember. You get switched on the guy. You know which way he wants to go or what shot he likes. So it's just hours and hours of film and walkthrough.
How cool is it to know that your path is essentially kind of wide open? You guys only need to win 2 more games, and you're on the way to the Final Four.
Honestly, it doesn't even feel real. We've never gotten past the first weekend of my time here, and it's crazy to think that you're 2 games away from playing in probably the biggest stage you'll ever be in your life. And this next game is probably the biggest game I've ever played in my life. So it's crazy to think that when you were a kid, this is what you were dreaming of, but it's right here and it's right now.
And you talked about playing tough opponents in tough settings, a place like Madison Square Garden. Does the glitz or like the shimmer of it wear off at all, or is it still kind of cool to be here playing a game?
It's still cool. I've played here a lot, being in the Big East. Big East tournament's always here, but it just once the ball tips, I think it goes away a little bit because you're so focused on the game. But there's no better place to do it than here.
Is Tyson Walker planning on giving you guys the New York tour at all?
I don't know. If we win 2 games, then he can. But I don't know if we're gonna have time until then.
Yeah. How was the pizza?
This is the last question for Joey.
It was good. Yeah, always like New York style.
Joey, did you feel like, was there a reset just in getting into postseason play that maybe took some pressure off, took some relief off the team?
Yeah, no doubt about it. We lose in the Big Ten. It's like, hey, look, we watch film on it, we do whatever, but we got to put that behind us, and we got to focus on the next opponent. And it's a team that hasn't seen us, so it's just